I've worked both sides of the fence. Fuck, man, I've been on every side of the fence. I've worked for the UBC with Local 1325. I've worked for SEMA. I've worked for Local 1999, and I've worked CLAC for years. Now, you are diehard union. You've only ever worked union. You've never jumped to the other side because you've never had to, nor do you believe in that. Some people might sit there and say that you don't understand or that it's very privileged to work union and only have worked union. I think there's some truth to that. And it's not to attack you in any way, diehard union guys. And that mindset isn't a bad thing. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, I think that's a great thing to have in the union. But I think, and this is just my opinion, so I gotta really stress that. My opinion is that mindset of fuck you, you're CLAC, I think that hurts us. Rather than taking a step back and looking at their side of the fence, like, why did you go here? Maybe you did work union at one point and there's no work. Maybe you just have a family. Maybe life happened. I think people have a number of different reasons as to why they went the route they did, and I don't think we should sit there and bash them.
And neither do I.
But what I think hurts us is this elitist mindset that separates us. At the end of the day, ironworking is ironworking. When you just put it on paper, you separate all the politics. The same with scaffolding. The trade is the trade. I think if we can separate that, I'm better, and educate and inform other people on the pros of being union without punching them down, it comes across in a more open manner where you're willing to actually listen to them and hear them, in comparison to you're a fucking scab. That gets you nowhere, because all that's going to do is, if I start going at you that way, your first response is, all right, fuck you.
My turn. I'm not an elitist. I have seen the benefit of what union has done for myself, my family before. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a union electrician, union millwright. Building Trades of Alberta just did a study with CLAC workers.
This was just recently.
Just recently. The results aren't even out yet. They'll be coming out in September. I'm a realist. I'm a unionist in Alberta, a place where unions are not smiled upon. Not by the government, not by the populace, not by the farmers, not by the oil guys. I have never gone after someone for their choice to feed their family. I understand that. I understand that if you were brought in because your mom or dad worked for CLAC and that's all you ever know, I get that. I understand that if you are a non-union worker and CLAC comes and organizes, that you still have your job, you're still doing your thing. There are total accommodations for that. My angst has always been that I see what CLAC is. CLAC goes in, what they call, and what the owners and contractors agree is, then we can't be unionized by the real unions. This is a shield to keep us out. CLAC comes in with a few people, organizes early, and sets that up so that the unions can't come in. I am not a businessman. I am not a lawyer. I'm an ironworker. Unions are run by tradespeople. We are the workers coming up to make sure that the workers get the best for what they can do. CLAC will never lead the way in wages. They will never lead the way in benefits. They will never lead the way in apprenticeship.
They'll never walk off a job site for you either. Like,
that's right.
Do a strike.
Right now, what we hear from workers across the board is you're treated poorly by your employer, you file a grievance, CLAC files the grievance, then pulls it so that there's no duty of fair representation claim, and you're left there accepting their decision. There's lots of different things why I cannot stand CLAC and wouldn't work a minute for CLAC, but I have never, in my position at the building trades in the last 5 years, called out somebody for that. A worker who is union already and decides to go back over to the CLAC, understanding what we do, understanding the benefit of it, causes us issue for sure. But I also understand they have truck payments, house payments, and their kids have to eat. Myself, I would find other employment if I was so inclined, but I wouldn't go work for that side just because of my, like you say, you can call it privilege or the positions I've held. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm not going to call somebody out. I understand it. I get it. My goal is to bring workers to understand that that does not promote success. It is actually the race to the bottom, we call it, because the unions want to hold the line on wages and CLAC is just underneath us, 10 to 13% underneath us. But in the void of the building trades unions that are out there, those wages will come down. Those wages will come down until workers decide to organize again and come back together and form unions to fight against it. I just don't want to get to that point because labor is cyclical.
In the event that, let's say, the unions did disappear, we know, because I've seen it, where they are so quick with CLAC to take from you. Well, it's just, times are hard right now, so we need to take a pay cut in order to keep this contract. Well, times are hard right now. We can't invest into your pension or your RSPs, your employer. They can't do it, but they'll match 1% for whatever you put in, up to a maximum of this. If we lost all of that, we would see, at least I believe this, things would start to tank. And it might not just nosedive, but it would progressively get lower and lower and lower. And then to try and come back together and organize and go, I feel like that would be one of the hardest uphill battles that people have seen when it comes to your rights as a worker, fair wages, your benefits, a pension, because you lost it, and trying to get that back would be incredibly difficult.
It's a very complex problem because in the interim, you got to eat. So I get that. Do we find that group mentality to stick together so that we can maintain it? Not across the board. You're never going to be able to do that. It's complex. It's people have real life getting in the way. Right now, CLAC has a pension, RSP. It's not defined benefit. Defined benefit pensions that our unions fought for and held on to as well as they could are unbelievably better than a defined contribution or an RSP.
But for people who aren't familiar with a defined benefits and so on, what is the difference?
Defined benefit is what the ironworkers 720 and 725 have held on to. It is a pension wherein the employer puts part of your wage package into a pension plan for every hour you work. They put it in for $7.50 an hour for the ironworkers at straight time, and at time and a half, it's time and a half that, and double time, it's double that.
Yeah.
There's a formulation that says if you put in this many hours, you will get this much return when you retire. That is a true pension plan. It is not something that I can, at 55, decide I'm going to pull it all out. I have $350,000 in there, and I buy a boat and I invest in something stupid, and then that money is gone and I've worked my whole career for nothing.
Yeah.
Or I have worked non-union and I've put nothing away, and now I realize that if I take my CPP at 60 years old, it's $860 a month for the rest of my life. And when I hit 65, I can get another, whatever, $880 or whatever. So now, or I think the total, if you take it at 60 and 65, is $2,100 a month. How much do you make in a 1 week check, right? $2,100 a month isn't going to pay for anything. Rent, maybe some food. That's it. That's what you're going to get. So a pension, to me, especially at this age, but I've been a pension trustee with the ironworkers for 17 years, is the most important thing that a construction job can give you. The wages are good. You can make similar wages other places. The benefit package and the pension plan that I have gotten in being a union ironworker since 1995, we call it a Cadillac plan. Great benefits. My kids got braces. I've had eyeglasses forever since I got old. Massage therapy, you name it. It's covered under our health and welfare plans. Then these leaders put away this money, and now I have a pension that I'm collecting right now on top of my wage until I pass. So those are the benefits that union construction bring, and that's why I'm so passionate about trying to educate people. You're only 20 years away at 35 from retirement. You can get more in that 20 years than you will get your whole lifetime getting max CPP and old age pension. So it's never too late to come over to the unions. Like you were talking about earlier, it's important for us to welcome those people in, bring labor together, start pushing that we need these pensions so that we can have a good retirement. Defined contribution is another type of pension plan wherein the contribution that you're going to make is defined. You pick whether you want to have it in a low risk, medium, or high risk. You put that money in, the pension fund still invests for you, and at the end of your career, you take that money, you divide it by how many years you think you're going to need your pension, and you take it out that way. That was always looked on as a secondary pension plan. Because defined benefit is so expensive to contractors, let's go with a defined contribution. And now they've moved that into a voluntary RSP where they'll match if you put it in. But realistically, as a young person right now in construction, you're probably not going to put in your contribution because you want that money in your jeans to get tattoos and to buy your food.
No.
You're going to need a defined benefit if you're going to get tattoos when you're older.
Here's a question for you, and I'm not looking for specific numbers. I just want real rough ballparks. So you get a young guy, finishes high school, he joins Local 725 because you're familiar with them. Okay? This for conversation's sake, and this is just rough numbers.
Yeah. There's a lot of different determining factors. How many hours did they work? Did they boom out and go there? So yeah, I'm going to get to the rough. I get what you're asking.
Yeah, pension.
After 30 years.
After 30 years. Okay. So about $4,000, and that's in your pocket.
It's under 4. It's, yeah.
We'll just round it up to 4 because I'm not good at math.
There you go.
Let's just keep it at that.
Okay.
So you get with the union at a young age, fresh out of high school. You work until maybe 55.
You could make, theoretically, about $73,000 a year.
With a pension.
At 65, when you take in your old age, your CPP, your pension, that's without RSPs, right? RSPs, which...
Or any other investments.
Or TFSAs or whatever. So compare that to someone who didn't put any away, right? $2,100.
Yeah.
Right? So while you say that, but you're working in union now, so you're putting... I understand the challenges you've had.
Not even that. Like my fiance, like when she found out, like there was a point in time where I had access to my pension with 1325, and I was like, "Yo, I got spending money. Fuck!" I pulled it out, and it was gone. Oh, I spent it. Yeah. Don't shake your head at me. I grew up without a dad.
I'm shaking my head at you.
I saw a lump sum of money, and I was like, I'm gonna go spend that.
I hear you, and I would have done the same thing. I'm telling you, I drove an old piece of crap Honda Civic.
It was gone,
and then we crashed it. I ended up with an 88K car station wagon. Like I've been there when an influx of money would have changed our lives. We think, but now because I didn't touch it and I struggled through without it.
Yeah.
You know. My retirement's going to be sound. Like you know me, I'm traveling now. I'm doing the things. I have a life, and I love when you said privilege earlier. It is a privilege that I found the Ironworkers Union, and then I did that, and and I've been true blue to them my whole life, and I always will be. So it is a privilege. I get that, but it's not a privilege that I hold lightly, and I want it for other people. My son is an ironworker now, 3rd generation after my father-in-law, Joe Roy. My son, Noah, is killing it in the rebar industry. I believe in the system. I really believe in the system, and I want other people to engage in the system. The system isn't perfect, though. You have to know its limitations. You have to know where it can work and where it can't work. We're working with different groups right now to try and increase our footprint. The key is that workers have to see the benefit. And one of the reasons that we're sitting here today is to try and promote unionism, to try and promote that if we come together, we can fight for better. Wages cannot stay as stagnant as they have been. Alberta is the slowest wage growth. Yes, 3 years ago, we took 17%. Negotiations are ongoing right now, and there's more money there. But not just wages, the opportunity to work and build the apprenticeship of the future is right now. Capital projects coming into Alberta. This chaos down in the United States is a great point for us to come together and build pipelines and do the things that need to be built, refineries. Where are you going to find the workers with the broken immigration system that we have right now? Hopefully a new government, whether it's right or left, can fix that for us and encourage investment in Canada. We have European partners and partners in Asia that want to work with us right now. This could be a great growth time for us, but workers need to capitalize on that. Use this this chaos that's happening as a way to bring people together so that we can do this together, and it's important. So